3, 2, 1, action.
We're celebrating.
De nuevo.
We are celebrating 30 years of AHS Art Health Society Division.
Yes, what is my vision for AHS Division Arts, Health and Society? Let me start with our founding rector, Paolo Knill. He has been the major, I can say one and then the major role model for me in terms of remaining open. He developed what he called theory of practice. And whenever I was like, wow, now I get it, he came in and would perturb me, us, the whole faculty, body of core faculties, and bring it a step further. And this attitude of, yes, it works, and it can work, we still can refine it, change it. Being in this art-based attitude as faculties, as researchers, as artists, really, I think this is my vision, that we can continue to practice this attitude of curiosity, grounded on now I bring a big word, love. I mean, the whole school was founded on the base of passion, of love, and became a place for exchange interculturally. And this I would like to see us continuing. And this notion of community art. I think we started with the notion, okay, we are professions, expressive arts therapy, the clinical path. Then came coaching, consulting, conflict transformation, peace building. And now it seems to be in the air when I watch what graduating students bring, work with communities. I think our world nowadays, we need to network, to connect in a different, profound way. So we are doing it, and we can expand on that.
stays. Water flees. Sky stretches out. Fire sparks light. Who can shine? Who can splash like waves? Who can bend without snapping in a storm? Who can take a rest like water in ice? Who can melt angst and lend a hand to a thirsty soul? Do we unite with our dirt when we die? May there be always a place where green stays green.
I envision that EGS will keep its soul alive, the body reaching out to places in the world, in the paradigm of unknown, unfolding the heart of softness and imagination.
My vision for the future would be that we continue in many of the ways that we've been going along. I've 24 years I've been actually coming here. I came here as a student, both in a master's degree and then later in the postgraduate work. And there are things that I valued right from the beginning about the education. And I think I've already, I've spoken about this before, I know, but I can't say it often enough. An aesthetic education, an education where the senses are involved. And I think that can't be taken for granted as part of a big contribution. I think if I use arts language, I talk about an ensemble, where you have to give something up in order to create a work, in order for it to move forward. And we do a lot of that here, I think, without maybe talking about that necessarily, but a lot of the work in creating. And where am I going with that? I think community engagement work is probably, I hope, a big area that we move into more, because I think that's unique about expressive arts in relationship to the therapies, that we actually have methodology and a way of working. And here we are. I mean, we're in this most beautiful place, and I understand, we can't always be in places like this. So how do we move more into, I don't want to call it nature, because we are nature. It's a participatory process. So I'm interested in that, in us going out to the land more and being more involved in the land. And also maybe decolonizing our ideas about what art is. I think that's really a contribution that we're making in this work. Just that idea that we're cultivating something here around what it means to be in the arts and what it means to be creative. And I hope that continues. I'm quite sure it will, because it's at the very center of our work.
There are languages older than words, and another law, older and truer than anything written down. Circling of dark wings, they find death in the snow and know the place. These are words we measure our lives by. They are not quiet or sweet, these birds. They eat the dead and stay alive. They know how the world changes. They participate. Their sharp-beaked practice, an ecology of grace, picking clean the bones, an act of tenderness.
AHS is a nice place, a nice university, but also a nice environment. I like to work so in summertime in the mountain, near of the nature, hearing the birds. And I like the diversity of the cultural background of students, of the teachers, and it's so rich to mix our cultural identities and ideas and traditions, and it helps. I think it helps us to create new ways, new point of view on the world and on our work.
Well, I'm Professor Dr. Judith Greer-Essex, and in response to your question, we've had 30 years of EGS, and where do I see the university going? I hope this university will be able to take its place among the great universities of the world. I think that we are unique in offering a truly arts-based approach to change, whether that change is in the arena of psychotherapy or community building or whatever it may be. We come from the arts. We don't pull it through sociology or psychology. And that is a very powerful approach, and I think we articulate it best.
EGS is a clearing in the dense forest. And in this clearing, we each who arrives here can open our palms and listen to that song. That is your calling. Your calling. Each of us have a unique voice. The world needs your unique voice. So we have existential distress that's horrifying in this world. So we can work with the help of the arts or through the arts, with the lead of the arts, to existential health. So what does that look like? It's bringing hope, it's bringing optimism, it's bringing in ability to create meaning in whatever circumstances one lives. As long as we have the breath, as long as we have the heartbeat, there is an ability to create meaning, whatever confining or privileged perspectives we live in. So existential health could also be more in focus.
I'm Carrie McLeod, and I have been affiliated with EGS for 20 years out of the 30. I started out as a student and slowly morphed into working as faculty on a arts and social change pilot program with Ellen Levine, which then morphed into a conflict transformation and peace building program. And I think throughout all those iterations, I've really learned that EGS has this incredible capacity to hone in on the challenging questions that we're living in our world, and finding multiple ways of knowing, multi-sensory intelligences, to address some of the precarities that are part of these times. And I think the future of EGS is to really work in a transdisciplinary way to build bridges across practices, research methodologies, to find ways of listening that are not part of the mainstream media, to hear other voices, to ask who isn't in the room, what isn't being said. And I think our way of accessing cultural forms of meaning making, contextual ideas, comes from a very different place than a lot of more hierarchical ways of understanding knowledge. And I'm excited about bringing a decolonizing praxis to this work, really listening from another place, and asking also about how do we listen to the more than human world, to the ecological presence around us that is giving us cues and prompts for this time that are poignant. And I think we have an ethical and aesthetic responsibility to ask questions from these deeper places of multisensory listening and knowing.
Soul brother, see how the ripples spread out now from the center, where you have dropped your heartstone into the pool of my soul. Soul brother, see how the ripples spread out now from the center, where you have dropped your heartstone into the pool of my soul.
What is the body of the society calling for today in terms of based on the experience of 30 years? So I'm thinking more in terms of what has our experience been and where are we going and who's calling for us. I mean, that's also something that engages me a lot is, you know, where are we called for? Where are we needed at the most? What is very clear from the conferences I've been to is that community psychotherapy is called for. We have to get out of the offices. We have to move into the schools, into the businesses, into hospitals, and work with the communities within these settings and give them knowledge of we care. We have the arts, we have our music, we have our movement, we have our bodies. And our bodies have the internationally, universally, we have the same symptoms. We have headaches, we have stomach aches, we have lack of concentration. So no matter where you are in the world, like in exit, we so focus on these symptoms, and nobody argues that they have that these symptoms come and go, and how their languages in themselves. And the intermodal expressive arts helps these symptoms to have a place to be expressed. We give room for expression within moving your headache in a dance, or moving your stomach ache and seeing how it moves, or what does it look like if you give it a shape. We have the components in our community work, because we are very community oriented with our community, our group approach, that we create relationships, we create contact, we create engagement, we create presence, the presence that you get out of the worries and out of the aim, shame, and blame, and into connection, and that we can do it. So you give a feeling of, that we can do this together. There's a sense of empowerment of the community. I can't do this alone, but we can do it. So I think that's where we have to really focus, and that's where we're called for.
I think from my own experience, what EGS was doing to me and how it was impacting my life in a more, I would say, in a way that helped me to expand my growth in a even more creative way, using the arts, which at first was a challenge, and at the same time got me to a place of finding my own art modality, if you like, which is photography. So I will be forever grateful to EGS for kind of throwing myself in the deep end and coming out, even more passionate and even more into the arts, and how that touched my life and shaped my life. I still share a deep passion for EGS to see EGS moving on. We started the program in Malta. I think that's an amazing program. And I think, especially with the way the world is going today, including artificial intelligence, and also the sense of what community is, I think we're losing the sense of community very fast. And at the same time, there's a deep longing for community. And I think being in the artistic process, in the physical world, is going to be something more and more necessary. And it's an innate need we all have to create. I think, as Picasso says, we lose it as we grow older. We are all born artists. And I think being deeply immersed in the physical sense with the arts cannot replace any other form of art. Of course, the digital world is something that is another tool, but I don't think it can give the same meaning that the art making does when we are immersed in it physically. And I think that, as I said before, what it taught me in how to relate the arts into my life and be more creative, more open, and more kind of allowing the emergent to manifest itself as something new. I think we can relate that to life. And I think that the expressive arts is something that can still give meaning and have a place, a very important place in the world today.
I'm happy to be here today to talk about the European Graduate School. I was there at the beginning, and I don't think I'll be there at its end. I certainly hope not. I hope it goes on for many, many years. The school began in the 1990s when Paolo Canel, who was a very charismatic leader, decided to go leave Lesley University, then Lesley College, and to go to Switzerland and start a university there. It's kind of a crazy idea to go start a university, but he had the idea, and he had a lot of enthusiasm and energy. And I think that's what really drew me to it, in the sense of tremendous enthusiasm. Enthusiasm means literally the to be filled with the God, and theos, yeah, from the Greek. So I think he had that kind of like charismatic energy which drew people to him. And we just went on with it. Let's go, let's go. He always said, let's go further. Let's go now. Let's keep going. And he never really asked, how can we keep going I know it's not fair to say that. He wanted to keep going, but he wasn't clear about where we were going. But he had a feeling that it had to be based on creativity. I think that's the main thing I want to stress, that EGS is a creative enterprise. It really is. It's an enterprise which always keeps that imagination at the forefront. Imagination is the basic category of expressive arts. We don't go back into the past and memory. That's not our forte. We can do it, but it's not our forte. Our forte is this jumping forward into the future without knowing where we will land. It's a wonderful thing, I think. And that's very exciting. And I remember the excitement of the first days when we did the first summer school, and Ellen Levine and Paolo Canil and Margot Fuchs Canil and Mike and Jacobi, who was then with us at the first summer school, and she was from Denmark, one of the founders. I remember we did it. We taught almost every class. And at the end, we gathered at the Rhone and we said, we did it. We did it. We couldn't believe that we did it. It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling to have accomplished something that no one has ever done before, and to go forward into the future. Yeah, forward into the future. I remember a dream I had once where I wanted to know the meaning of the word Torah. Torah is the first 5 books of the Bible in Hebrew. And I had asked a friend of mine, Avi, what is the meaning of Torah? And he says, first of all, you have to say, Torah, Torah, Torah. And then he said, it means go forward into the future with courage and confidence. And I think that's what we have, and that's what I think we still have. We're going forward into the future. We don't know where we're going, but we know that we have courage, we have confidence, we have good intentions. We want to bring this wonderful enterprise forward into whatever is coming towards us. It's hard times these days. It's easy to get discouraged if we just look at where we've been. But the thing about imagination is it takes us forward into where we could be. Where we could be is just caring for this wonderful planet of ours. And the way in which things grow and we grow and we grow. Oh gosh. Arts, Health, and Society is primarily where I've been working. And it's a wonderful thing, to bring the arts into health, and then to bring it into a social and now ecological dimension. That's very important, because the arts are based on that sense of vitality and courage and confidence and not knowing and imagination, always imagination. Yeah, forward into the future with courage and confidence. Pouvoir l'imagination, the slogan of the French students in the 60s, power to the imagination. And I think poiesis, which is a word that I put into the field, I believe, taken from Heidegger and Greek philosophy, it really has a sense of creative responses to difficult situations. We're in a difficult situation right now in the world. It's not clear whether we'll be able to deal with climate change properly. It's not clear whether the tendencies towards fascism will just prevail and all the good things will be stopped. But we can't look at it that way. We have to look at it like, okay, how can we give a creative response to a difficult situation? I think that's what we did with EGS and with Arts, Health, and Society in particular. It's a wonderful enterprise. I'm so happy to have been associated with it from the beginning, even before the beginning, and to be carrying it forward, to giving it to others, to carry on after me. Yeah, I see it as a legacy.
For me, EGS was always a place for integration of many things, knowledge, learning, from the individuality to the communal, from different kinds of realities, like being in contact with your creativity, with your imagination, but also looking to encounter the world and what's going there. And I conceive the future of EGS in that direction, like came to me the word vitality in a way, like vital, and to be vital means to have all multiplicity in a way in the learning process, and also to embrace deformation and moments of uncertainty. Without that, we can say that we can incorporate the new. In order to incorporate the new and the new world that probably is always coming, we need to deform in a way ourselves and be open to new realities, to continue working in the direction of imagination and creativity in that way, and to embrace of all this multiplicity in a way, the thinking, the body, the individual, the community, nature around us, and go from there to the world. So I hope that EGS will live much more years, and we being learning from the community, and our community can then be outside in the world. Yes.
Okay, I'm Ellen Levine, and I've been around here since 1996 when we started the school. And I'm really happy this summer to see how our school is flourishing. I think when we started EGS, we started it with the idea that it would be a worldwide international community, networks of training institutes feeding into the school. And I think we've done that, we accomplished that, and we want to keep our institutes really strong and healthy. And we've also encouraged, I think, over the years, it's really good to see people from outside the institutes coming to study with us, people who've had other kinds of trainings and who are coming into our approach. But I really feel like what we're doing is so important to the world right now. I think bringing the arts, bringing imagination, bringing play into the world, the whole context that we're in of war and strife and people having so much difficulty and disconnection, that our work is more important than ever. So my hope for this school is that we continue to bring students here who then go out as ambassadors into the world, dropping seeds everywhere they go, and developing new ways of working, helping people come into an artistic framework that makes them feel like they have power and capacity and resources. So I just want to say that I really will do everything I can to help the school and the whole field continue to grow and prosper.
I think that here at EGS we have developed an amazing container where people from different parts of the world come here, no, to nurture themselves, no, with nature, with the encounter, with the arts, and with the possibilities of really deforming their thinking and creating something new, no? And then that is taken back to the world, no? Where I think it's really needed, no? So what is unique about the European Graduate School is the space, you know? The space where we really come here to think new ways of being in the world, no? And we take that back to the reality, no? So for the future, I would say that it's important first to make more visible the work we are doing, no? The work that is being done by our alumni and by our faculty and by our affiliated institutes, no? That has to be made more visible through publications, through books, through journals, through social media, because it's an amazing work, and I think it has to be really shared with others, no? That's one thing, no? And the other one I will say is keep responding to the challenges of the world, no? I think expressive art has something to say about what we are living now, no? About division, about the war, about aggression, about dissociation, about the split in the world, no? EXA has something to say about this. There has the capacity to respond to these challenges. So I think we have to keep reflecting together about these possibilities of our field to respond with what we are living right now, with the challenges that we are living right now. For example, AI as well, no? How artificial intelligence is coming into the field, no? How we can co-create with that, no? And so many other things, no? But the idea, the essence is how this beautiful space that we have here can really be a potential to respond to these challenges that we are facing in the world.